Death by Sadhguru, from the chapter 1 of this best-selling book. Today, I'm going to share with you some eye-opening insights about what death is. Did you know that one day you will die? There are many uncertainties in life. We can't be sure if you'll get married, find a job, or be successful. But there's one thing we can guarantee. We will all eventually pass away. Can you believe that around 160,000 people who were alive yesterday are not here today? Every second, 2 people pass away in the world. And one day, it will happen to you and me too. You don't need extensive research or intelligence to know this. It's a knowledge inherent in every human being, yet we often live as if we have an infinite lease on life. Actually, death begins within us, even before we are born. If you're unaware, it may seem like death will come to you later in life. However, if you are conscious, you will realize that life and death are constantly occurring in each moment. When a child is born, the first thing they do is inhale, taking in a breath of air, and the final act of your life will be an exhalation. Try exhaling now and hold your nose without inhaling again. Within moments, every cell in your body will cry out for life. Life and death coexist inseparably within every breath. When we're young, we often feel immortal. But as we age, our bodies remind us of our mortality. When we face death or lose someone dear to us, we begin to question the meaning of it all. If we are aware of the finite nature of our lives, where is the time for anger, quarrels, or selfishness? Once we come to terms with death and embrace our mortality, we cherish every moment and live purposefully. Those who constantly acknowledge the fragile and transitory nature of their existence don't want to miss a single moment. They live consciously, never taking anything for granted. Only those who believe they are immortal engage in fights that lead to destruction. Many of the things we imagine about ourselves will be reduced to ashes if we sit and observe what happens in a cremation ground. When we're comfortably sitting at home, it's easy to think we're immortal. But when we witness a body burning before our eyes, it becomes evident that we too could be in that place tomorrow. When our bodies sense the fragility of their existence, we experience profound relief and acceptance. Deeply accepting death allows life to unfold in its full magnificence. It is because we've tried to keep death at bay that life has also eluded us. This is why many yogis spend time in cremation grounds at some point in their lives. People often view death as a tragedy, but it is not. The true tragedy is living an entire life without truly experiencing it. When you die, there is no tragedy. It marks the end of all the problems you may have faced. However, if you're alive and not fully living, that is the real tragedy. A Sanskrit verse beautifully expresses this. Jananam Sukhadam Maranam Karunam. Janan refers to birth, and Sukhadam means which is meant to be a joyous experience. And Maranam, or death, is Karunam, meaning compassion. Death is compassionate because it liberates you. Unfortunately, many people have a distorted perspective on life. They fear death and fail to realize that being condemned to immortality would be the most dreadful fate. No matter how beautiful life becomes, timely death is a blessing. If life extends far beyond its natural course, it becomes the worst kind of suffering. In such cases, death becomes a great relief. If you want to perceive life and death as experiences right now, then inhalation represents life while exhalation represents death. Try taking a deep inhalation and notice how your body and mind feel. Now, do a deep exhalation and observe the relaxation that follows. Which one feels more soothing? Death is pure relaxation. That's how it would have naturally been if our minds hadn't labeled death as evil. The greatest calamity of the human mind is its rejection of death. When we reject death, we also reject life. Life exists as it is because death exists. A river always flows between 2 banks. Imagine standing on the right bank and saying, "I don't like the left bank, it should disappear." If the left bank disappears, the river and the right bank will vanish too. Could there be light without darkness? One who doesn't embrace death will never truly know life. If we constantly resist death, we won't live well either. Regardless, we will all eventually die. By fearing death, we only avoid living. We can't avoid death. In some cultures, death is celebrated rather than mourned. After all, you were released onto this planet from somewhere within this vast atmospheric space. Even if you occupy a large space, it's still a confined prison. But death offers endless possibilities. So, There should be more joy and excitement surrounding death than birth. For those aware of this potential, life and death are not separate entities. Life is death, and death is life. They are intertwined. I came across these profound insights while reading the book Death by Sadhguru. If you're interested in exploring this topic further, I highly recommend purchasing the book. You can find the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. More wisdom, more solution, better life.